All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the third part of the show, we're going to talk about some of the best matchups in the Week 1 slate, the ones that I'm most looking forward to. And, the first two games of the slate come tomorrow night and Friday night. And that's, of course, the kickoff game, opening kickoff between the Ravens and the Chiefs. Of course, that's the AFC Championship game rematch from last year. And of course, I did talk about, the history between the two quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. It's another matchup in that saga, and I'm really looking forward to it. And of course, you also got Derrick Henry making his debut with the Ravens as well. What kind of difference can he make now that he's brought into the fold? This is a team that loves to run the football, and he's the king. So, I'm really looking forward to, seeing those two work together, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. But of course, again, it's just another, chapter in the Mahomes-Jackson saga. So I am, looking forward to that. I'm locked in for it. Gonna be an interesting game. Can the Ravens set the tone and avenge their championship loss from last year, or are the Chiefs just going to continue to roll? Now, Travis Kelce will be playing in this game. Last year, he did not play in the season opener for the Chiefs. And, of course, you got Xavier Worthy, who's now brought into the fold, their rookie wide receiver. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game. And the other thing, too, is the Yankees are off tomorrow, so my sole focus is going to be on this game. Now, it probably would still be on this game anyways because football is back, and also because the Yankees continue to frustrate me in new ways, including last night. But all my attention is going to be on this game tomorrow night, so I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, that's one of the games that I'm excited for. The other one is, of course, Friday night, Eagles and the Packers. I did go over that quarterback matchup as well between Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts. And yeah, this is one of the best games as well. This could be the game of the week because I think this game has the potential, I think, to be high scoring. This game could be a shootout, possibly. A lot of talent on both sides of the ball. The Eagles, of course, with their two stud receivers, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Of course, Saquon Barkley making his debut as an Eagle. Those stings a little bit, but still, let's see what he could do now behind a good offensive line. And then on the other side, you got the other running back that was signed by the Packers, their new running back, Josh Jacobs. Let's see what he does for them this year. Hopefully he's a monster. I drafted him in fantasy I got him in the third round in my redraft league, and I'm hoping that he has a big year. And, he's really going to be relied upon because, they did bring back A.J. Dillon, but he's going to be out for the year with a neck injury. They did draft Marshawn Lloyd. They still have Emmanuel Wilson, but it's going to be Josh Jacobs. And then, of course, how is Jordan Love going to be in year two as the full-time starter for the Packers? I actually did want to acknowledge a comment on one of my videos from yesterday. And it was on the Packers. Well, it was on the Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts segment that I did. So this is from Ezekiel Major, 5511, and this is what he said. He said, most opinions of Jordan Love are based off of the Green Bay Cowboys playoff game. Dallas stinks, so I would put too much stock. I think he meant to say so I wouldn't put too much stock, but he said I would put too much stock in that. My Eagles will be ready for him on Sunday. Bank on it. Actually, a couple of things there. So first of all, he said I would. He meant to say I wouldn't. And the Eagles are not playing. This game is not being played on Sunday. This is being played on Friday. So this Eagles fan is all over the place. He doesn't even know when his team's playing. So I said, appreciate the comment. I think it's more than just that playoff game. He played really well towards the end of the year. He beat the Lions on the road on Thanksgiving and the Chiefs in primetime. He's still got more to prove, of course, but it was more than just the playoff game versus the Cowboys. Should be a great game on Friday. Yeah, because there really was more to it than just the playoff game against the Cowboys. He did have some really good games down the stretch. Beat Mahomes in prime time. And that, also helped. Those two games between the Lions and the Chiefs, they won those two games. That turned their season around. So don't pretend like it was just a playoff game against the Cowboys. Well, he had to have some good games to get him to that point, to play the Cowboys in the playoffs. So you can't just say that it was just a playoff game. But also, you got to know when your team's playing. Your team is not playing on Sunday. They're playing on Friday. So I didn't even really think about that. But anyways, that's one of the best games of the weekend as well. Also, I'm not going to say this is one of the best games of the weekend, but I will be there in person, and that's Giants-Vikings. But just wanted to acknowledge that. I think the Cowboys and the Browns, that's going to be a good game. The Cowboys with their all-in offseason, which really wasn't all-in, except all-in for their stars. How are they going to do? How is that offense going to do against this pass rush of the Browns? How is Deshaun Watson going to look coming back from injury? That's a game I'm curious to see how that plays out. I'm gonna be keeping up with it, as we're traveling back from the Giant game, because we're taking my parents and I are taking a bus there. And there's gonna be a whole tailgate. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Just hope the game is good, but I'll be keeping up with, the late slate on my phone as we're traveling back. But yeah, I think that has the potential to be one of the best games of the weekend as well. Also, Cardinals-Bills can be intriguing. And Kyler Murray is healthy, and usually when he starts, the Cardinals, they usually get off to, good starts, fast starts. But, obviously last year, recovering from the ACL, came back later in the year. And the Cardinals, people look at them as being a team that's going to make improvements and maybe could be a team that, sneaks in as a wild card. Who knows? But, you got that offense, Marvin Harrison Jr. making his debut. And then, of course, on the other side, you got Josh Allen and the Bills. How is Josh Allen going to do with, all the new wide receivers that he has at his disposal? That has the potential to be a good game as well. But, of course, the last two games that I wanted to get to, now, obviously, there's Caleb Williams' debut. But these two games that I'm going to talk about towards the end of this segment here, these are going to be good games. So you got Stafford making his return to Detroit once again. And that was one of the best playoff games last year. Lions won that by a point. And I think we're in for another good game. Now, I'm kind of leaning towards taking the Rams in this matchup here. But I do expect this to be another good game. Stafford coming home, part 2. Should be a lot of fun. Obviously, the Lions, they want to take it a step further this year. They came very close to making it to the Super Bowl. They had a big lead against the 49ers, and they lost it. But this year, they're looking to take that next step and get to the Super Bowl. And we'll see if they can do that. This is one of the best games of the weekend right here. And then finally, it's the last game of the weekend. And that is the Jets and the 49ers. And it's really for one. Now, of course, I did bring it up. The 49ers got all their players signed, and they got all the stars, so you're excited to see them. But for one reason only, and that is Aaron Rodgers making his return to the field. How is he going to do? This is a team that has given him problems in the past, particularly in the playoffs. Does well against them during the regular season, but in the playoffs, he's had problems with them. But that's really what I am most interested in, is him making it through an entire game. And how does he look? How does he look with this team? The Jets tried to improve this offensive line. Let's see if it pays off. They brought in Mike Williams. Let's see what Breece Hall could do. Now in year 3, Garrett Wilson in year 3. Backed up by a really good defense against the best team in the NFC. How is Aaron Rodgers going to look? And I hope he goes out there and plays really well on Monday. But that is what I'm most interested in. This has the potential to be a very good game if Rodgers, can play a good game. And how does Brock Purdy deal with that Jets pass rush? Now he's got Trent Williams back, which is big. But let's see what happens. That's a game I am very interested in and will be watching very closely. And I just want to see Aaron Rodgers go out there and play a full game for the Jets so we can see what he looks like as a Jet, because we really didn't see it. We saw him throw that touchdown pass to Garrett Wilson in the preseason game last year against the Giants, and then he was running out with the American flag last year. But that was it. Handed off to Breece Hall against Buffalo. He had a big run, and then and then he got hurt. So I want to see Aaron Rodgers get through a full game. Let's see what he looks like as the Jets quarterback. But yeah, I'm hoping for the best, really. And I think a lot of people are too. It's one of the best quarterbacks of our generation. Last year that was horrible. Let's see what he does this year. But yeah, those are the games that I'm excited for. Let me know what you guys think. What games are you most excited for this week 1 slate? From this week 1 slate, let me know in the comments. So we're going to take our next break. And then when we come back, last 2 segments here, we'll be doing standings predictions. We'll be going over the AFC North first when we come back from our next break. So with that being said, stick around. And we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.